First off, I don't care what you people say. Never follow rules. I'm a trendsetter anyway. Okay, I march to the beat of my own drum. They say I need rules in my life. Well, I got some. That's one. Kill the
I can't hear anything you're saying. Hold on. Hmm.
So I've been talking to myself. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. So it was you. It wasn't me. Huh? I thought maybe because I had actually issues with the audio just a few minutes ago, and I'm like, oh, geez, maybe it's still me. So I was just doing the intro, did a quick couple promos while you weren't on. So, we got a few topics. We want to talk about Captain America, the movie, box office projections. We'll see how that's gonna. It's happening right now. I think you had a movie you wanted to talk about just one of them days, which is actually a movie I wanted to go see myself.
Well, I did go see it, so I can't talk about it.
Oh, okay. No worries. And then obviously the big elephant in the room is the TikTok ban that just occurred, and obviously UFC just happened last night. We had a watch party for it. Blackout AD hosted that for about 4 hours. It was crazy. It was fun. So got a lot of things to talk about. And obviously, if you guys have things to cover, hit us up in the chats for that. Where do you want to start, man? Anything in particular? I mean, the biggest news is the TikTok ban, but I don't think you're a big fan of TikTok.
I mean, I told you it wasn't going nowhere.
I do want to talk about the propaganda behind it, which I thought was pretty funny. Because there's a lot of theories, right? Because it shut down enough time to cross over a server, and people saying that Facebook bought it, Meta bought it, and they're on their servers now. I could believe it; it's plausible, but I think the funniest thing was, first of all, I'm not a huge user of TikTok. Not huge, like I use it, but not like addicted or anything. But shit, the withdrawals are real, man. Like I kept going to the app and kept saying the app is gone, and thanks to the or maybe the valiant efforts of Donald Trump, we'll get it back. I was like, what was that? What's that about? But it was gone. I was like, so now what? My wife was having withdrawals though, like serious withdrawals. But did you ever go on there, or do you?
Yeah, but I'm not having withdrawals.
No.
Dude. I don't know what's going on.
No, I mean,
computer.
I don't know. Everything okay over there?
No. Yeah. I don't use it that much, so it didn't really affect me.
Yeah. No, like I said, it seemed interesting. I think it's a pretty creative app, and it has lots of good information in it. Also a lot of trash in it, but I just found it funny that they had an opportunity to make it a kind of a political thing, like putting his name on the sorry you can't have the app anymore, and then bringing his name on there and say thanks to his efforts you get it back. Like it seemed like a distraction of some sort, but I don't know. It's they say that Meta is now on there, like you can link your accounts. That's never been before after the server upgrade. So all things lead to that Meta has probably bought the data and owns TikTok or has part of it. So
yeah, I mean, like I said, we talked about it last week. I kind of knew this was going to be the outcome because too much money on the app, and the app was growing. And if the US can like force their hand and take control of it, then they're going to do that. So
yeah,
that just seems what happened.
That, and I think a bunch of congressmen and women all bought Meta shares over the last week or so as the ban was coming and looming with the impending. Again, it's all too coincidental, right? The TikTok ban gets announced. All these Congress people start buying up Meta stock at a really low price, or not low price, but just an affordable price. And now the rumor is that Meta has acquired it, and once that gets out, the stock price can go through the roof. Yeah. So insider trading, hey man, the rich get richer, I guess.
Was it insider trading if you picked up on them being able to connect the accounts? You could do the same thing, really.
No, I think if you know in advance that the sale was pending, and they do have, again, all alleged, right? But if you know in advance that this big major sale is pending and the government holds the key to that sale, and you go buy the stock, it's insider trading. You know confidential information that you shouldn't know as a public member, and you used it to buy stock.
But think about this. It can't be insider trading because based off our conversation, we don't know shit about anything. That we came to a conclusion there was only 3 possible options.
Right.
Meta being one of them. And you got to think who has the most to gain from the we called it last week that Meta was probably going to be the one to buy it because they have the most to gain, them or Google, but Google is kind of doing their own things with YouTube, so
right. But if you like, but go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, there's no, I don't think it could be insider trading if we could have came up with we could have did the same thing. Like if we had money ready, like, yo, Meta's probably in the running. I think it's a good bet to put some money on Meta.
Yeah, but if you know who's going to win the race, you put the money on that horse. Again, we were sort of just guessing, like, hey, could be Google, could be Meta. These are the 2 likely. And yeah, if we were to each sort of say, okay, you put money on Google, I put money on Meta, we'll see whoever hits, and we double our, we can double our money. But if you know who's going to win that race and you put all your eggs in that basket, it can be linked to when you purchased your stock, how much it was at that time. But again, it's too coincidental that all of these Congress folks that voted against the ban or voted for the ban all have Meta stock, and they have it in a high volume. That's kind of just.
But it's also, I mean, it's Meta, dude.
Oh, I know.
If you're a smart investor, you have Meta. Yeah. Like, I mean, there's also that point too.
Yeah, I mean,
just because we don't know if they knew.
Because no, it's all speculation.
If TikTok is going away, then again, back to our conversation, just our conversation. We're not thinking about this, but back to our conversation last week is like, all right, if TikTok is not getting sold, because last week you and Bird both were like, it's gonna go away. Like, no, it's probably not. But let's just say if it did, then again, who are you putting your money on? Meta, Google. You're gonna put your money either way. If the app is gone, then that increases both their stocks tremendously.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters who buys it. Now, if Meta does buy it, then again, you just pick the winning side. But
yeah,
either way, you're gonna put money on it because one of them is gonna go up.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna benefit from TikTok going away. If it was like completely bannable. Nobody bought it. Let's just say that aspect, because that's another thing. Like nobody knew. I mean, if people at TikTok who are making millions of dollars at TikTok didn't know what was going to happen, I don't think a congressman knows what's going to happen. You know, they might, but let's be honest, probably not a low level congressman at least. You know.
Yeah. Well, again, all coincidental, all allegations. Nothing is proven or made fact. So
I don't. That's
completely
the thing. I don't think
speculation.
it was coincidental either. I think it was like this is exactly how it was gonna go.
Oh no. I think the outcome was exactly what somebody had planned. I find it interesting that all of this is so. I guess the sad part is how easily we're manipulated, right? Like there's just easy ways to get your like, hey, look over here, and we all look over there, and who knows what else is happening. But again, if it comes out that TikTok is now on Meta's servers, which it looks like it is, it's gonna again, with our short attention spans and the news cycles the way they are, in a month nobody's gonna give a shit. But I think at this moment it's heavy on people's minds, I guess, and a lot of people like said their goodbyes. There were some people like admitted some shit on TikTok thinking it was gonna go away. So they're in trouble as well. So, oh my God, Jay Birdie, why did I click on his shit? I meant to ask you, how cold is it there? You said you were going through some freezing temps.
Yeah, it's pretty cold, dude.
Not in the negatives?
Let me see. It was yesterday.
No,
it's 8 degrees right now.
Damn.
So by 7 a.m. it'll be like 0, -1, -2.
I mean, it's 71 in my house and I'm freezing, so I can't imagine your negative temps.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No. I mean, does that stop? Like, again, I don't know anything about living in the cold. Does that stop people from going out of the house?
This is something I kind of came to a conclusion moving out here, because again, same perspective as you. I come from Florida. I mean, I lived in New York for a couple years, but it's not nearly as bad. I mean, there's public transportation. It's kind of easier to navigate. But moving out here was like, well, when it snows, I'm not driving because I'm not fucking up my car. I don't have experience driving it, and especially when it gets crazy. Like when it snows crazy, it's like the roads are fucked. People who lived here their whole lives are crashing. So it's like, I'm not risking it. But
yeah, no.
then then living out here is like, oh, it doesn't stop anybody from doing anything. Like literally, like you can get Ubers. Like when it starts snowing, there's mad people driving on Uber and Lyft. Like they're probably making dumb bread, and they got Subarus and shit that are truck
equipped.
Same thing with DoorDash. Like every time it snows heavy, last night I ordered pizza, and I've been on a diet, so I was like, I'm not going out. Like I could just eat bad today. I'll figure it out tomorrow. But like again, for me it stops it, but for everybody who's kind of used to it, they don't really give a fuck. I mean, and football was going on, our fucking restaurant was still busy. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there were some games in the snow and all kinds of shit. It just looks painful. Like being in the snow looks painful. I don't like cold weather, so I just like again, I there's a point where I stop moving. Not because I'm frozen. I'm not doing shit. I reached that I think 2 years ago in Georgia. It was like close to 0, and I about flipped out. But anyway, we got Birdie and Miss Katie's here. Thank you guys.
Hello.
Birdie, the Birdman. All right, so TikTok is back. That's fine. It's all good. The inauguration's tomorrow.
It was an update.
Oh, I know. It was a server migration. But
you just realize how dumb people are. Honestly.
Yeah.
At least that's how I look at it. Like, I don't know. It was an easy read from my part, but I also pay attention to more shit than, especially when it comes to like social media itself. But I don't know. It's just like people were like, I'm going to miss TikTok. I kind of assumed. I was like, there's probably people that every day they scroll before they go to bed. It's like.
Yeah. But I found myself scrolling on YouTube and on Instagram. Like sometimes just I go down that rabbit hole and it feels like TikTok, but it's not the same. But it's still, there's always content out there. So I wasn't that impacted. But yeah, that was a big story. Inauguration's tomorrow. Big deals. Everybody who bought tickets and shit, they moved it indoors, so they're all stuck with no place to go. Just fucking. It's been a crazy. It's only the 19th of January. It feels like it's been a year. It's been a long couple of weeks in January. So, interesting stuff. The Captain America stuff. So we can transition to that. The box office looked pretty solid in terms of the pre-sales and the IMAX screenings and whatever has been sold up to this point. They're saying it's not as big as like when you compare projections, right? Not as big as like Avatar and a couple in terms of like how will it perform, but it said it's pretty solid. So like people are clamoring for this action type movie, like people are looking forward to it. So a little less cynical than before. So I don't know your thoughts on the new. I mean, I'm excited. I can't wait for the movie. I've seen a couple more promos. They're not really showing you much more on the trailers. But I think a new revamped trailer about buying tickets showed a couple of little, nuggets of information, but it looks solid to me. But I haven't heard anything negative yet. I'll have to wait to see what the press.
I don't think anybody's seen it yet.
No. In terms of like, early predictions or, the studio interfered. They said there were some rewrites and some changes, but that was way early in the process. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I feel like it's it falls at a great time. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about that?
I mean, I feel like we beat in a dead horse for like I've said it multiple times. This is gonna be my sleeper movie of the year because nobody's expecting anything of it. And I don't know, man. The start of this year, from all the reactions and like things I've been watching of what's coming out, people are kind of, usually you get January the shit movies, and people are kind of saying like this has been a more better filmed, January in a long time. So kind of gives me hope for this year of movies that's coming out. Like I think there's gonna be a lot of good movies that have come out this year. I mean, we got a good list, but I think also, in a weird way, the strike kind of helped it because it made people really like, especially when they started recording again or like filming again. There was a lot of rewrites, a lot of things. So I think like the movies are gonna benefit from that. And I think even last time, like they said, like while the strike was coming out the first time or the strike was happening, the initial movies were pretty shit. And I think we kind of experienced a little bit of that. Like last year, there was some shit projects that, got held up through the strike. Mm-hmm. But then they said like, then it kind of helped, the better movies get better in that sense. And there's a lot of movies that came out of the strike that did well. And I think we're going to see a repeat of that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I read the headline here. It says Brave New World. The bar for success should be Winter Soldier, not Civil War. So they're just kind of saying, don't expect, Civil War numbers, because that was huge. But that was also like all the entities coming together for the team up right before the big Infinity War and the big climax there. But I think
nobody has a high expectation. That's what I'm saying. Like. Yeah. Think about it. Nobody has a high expectation of this movie. Nobody's like, yeah, this is my must-watch movie of the year. So I think that's what's gonna get people. And then, like, even the Kiki Palmer SZA movie. On the name. That did like 14 million this weekend, and for a comedy, that's really well. And it has like a 97 Rotten Tomato rating. So I think. Obviously, 14 million is not crazy, but I think for the budget because I think it made 11 million, and I think the budget was 14 million.
Oh, okay.
So I think it did well for their standards. But that 97 Rotten Tomato rating is going to get people to go next weekend and the weekend after that, and hopefully continue to get people to go. And I think again, same thing with Captain America. Like it's going to do well opening weekend, and if the movie is good, it's going to get a lot of people to go to the theaters because. We've seen the trend. Like when there's a good movie and people are talking about it, they're going to the theaters.
Yeah. The projection is 100 million opening weekend. right now based on the pre-sales. So, which isn't bad. It's a Valentine's weekend. It also says President's Day weekend. And so the movie should open to somewhere close to $100 million, which I think is a success. Like that's huge, but I don't know what the budget is on the movie itself. Like, so I don't know how much it costs to make it, but one thing I noticed, I forgot to look for what Wolfman made because I was actually going to go see that. But it's also coming up against a couple of other like favorable Valentine movies. But I don't think anyone is really competing against it. But yeah, what I noticed is a lot of Netflix is pumping out a lot of new movies just out of the blue, but not anything in the theaters. So people are clamoring for something good because the last couple of Netflix movies I watched were kind of, they had big budgets, they had, big stars, but it was like, I don't know, there was nothing to them. Like, and I didn't see any ads for them. That's, I think, one thing Netflix isn't doing well, I think, in my opinion, is the advertising for these movies. Like, you just happen to see it on your scroll and it's like, oh, #2 movie on our app. And you're like, what's this about? Right.
Yeah, but that's enough advertising. They don't need advertisement to get people because their advertisement is getting them to subscribe to Netflix. You don't need people to do that. You just need them to watch it. So if you put it up when they're on the screen and they see, oh, this movie's new, trending, they're going to watch it no matter what. That's the advertisement. I think for Netflix. But you got to see what Netflix is trying to make really big moves, I think. I mean, obviously with, Raw, live events. They're really transitioning to like become a TV thing. I mean, Bird said he hasn't watched Raw in a while or consistently in a while. And, every week he's talking about it. Like, I know other wrestling fans that are talking about it. Like, they're getting the people on there. And again, if they put The Rock on a movie, somebody's going to watch it, especially if it's trending. I don't think they really need the traditional, because like traditional movies, you got to get people to go out and buy the ticket. So that's why you see those kind of movies all in your face. And like the Red One movie, I saw a lot of advertisement for that, and that wasn't in theaters. So.
No, Red One was in theaters.
Was it?
Yes, yeah, but it went to streaming really fast because it bombed. But yeah, that I think they figured out the theater and streaming, program does not work. Right? If you have it available at home, what's that?
It has to be a good movie.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is like I think that whole experiment. I think we've seen in some of the last of that where it's like, hey, the movie's also available at home. Take your pick, but like nobody's gonna go and see the movie. You're just gonna go to the app. So a lot. What happened with Red One? They put it in the theater. It bombed terribly, and then like within a week or two, I think it was 2 weeks, it's available now streaming on whatever platform it was on. So that was kind of
but that's also a different situation because it was originally a stream only movie. Then they decided to put it to theaters, and then it was like, all right, well, take it off. But again, the movie wasn't good. You know what I mean? Like only one person, Bird, was the one that said it was pretty decent. But everybody else that I've watched reactions or like seen what they said about the movie, they said it wasn't good. Like you got to think, even Mortal Kombat, and now granted, different circumstance because it was the first movie to like be back in theaters, kind of.
Yeah.
But I mean, that movie did well enough for them to make a sequel, and it was on both, and it was in a time where people were not going out, and that was an okay movie. So if you're putting good movies, people are gonna go out, man. I think like if the movie's good enough, you're gonna get the family and go out and have a day of it. You can watch a shitty movie later when you get home after that. But if it's a shitty movie, there's no point. If you're hearing bad things about a movie, it's like, why am I gonna leave? Now if you're hearing, and again, like a movie like what's the Alien movie that you liked last year?
Oh, Alien Romulus?
Yeah. Think about it. If that was on streaming and in theaters, people are still gonna go watch it for the experience of the theater.
Yeah.
That's the kind of movie you have to see in the theater, even if it's available at home. And of course, like someone like you, it might be an easier decision because you have more of a theater style setup. where you can like be comfortable and watch a movie.
Yeah. Oh,
Not
yeah,
everybody
yeah.
has that, you know. Like I got like a small TV, so if I want to watch a movie like that, like I'm going to the theaters, you know.
Yeah. Oh, no. I was waiting to do Interstellar because that was being re-released, but all the screenings were sold out. So now I'm debating watching it for the channel or watching it in my, home theater setup. So I'm like, I don't know what to do, but and we had talked. You had said it'd be nice if I recorded the theater setup, the home theater setup, and it's just something that I'm going to try to do myself. But that's also happened too. Now I've seen a lot of re-releases, but they've got to be good re-releases. Like that's another thing too, that the movie going public isn't dumb. I think most of them know, like, hey, I know I'm going to spend my money, but like they're re-releasing everything that they can get their hands on, and it's a little annoying because they do nothing other than just play the digital copy in the theater. But like if you do an IMAX release or you do like an upgraded release, that's different. Like Interstellar was remade for 70 millimeter IMAX or some shit like that, and I was like, damn, I can't wait to see it. But that's like a movie experience. I just couldn't get to it, but. And I couldn't get to Wolfman, although I am off tomorrow, so I might go see it tomorrow. If I do, I'll just give a review tomorrow. I felt really bad. Oh, we got Jason. Jason says, not spending $100 for a family of 5 without some good reviews for sure. Love them D-Box shares. Birdie says, I feel nowadays more people are into series than movies. But
yeah, I mean, that's binging culture, but also just in series, you get more story you can tell. You get more leeway of what you can tell in a story for a series.
Yeah.
So I do think though, like binging has made people more into the story element. Like even Katie said something funny yesterday because we're watching the new Dexter show and it's like a weekly release.
Oh yeah. Original Sin.
Yeah, and last week they didn't release an episode for whatever reason, and she just said something funny. It was like, "I'm a binger. Like I can't be doing this," you know. And it's like, oh yeah, like there really are people that like. Because I'm a fan of the time in between because then I get to like let my, especially if it's a show that I'm super into. Like even like us doing Vampire Diaries is like week to week. I'm like hyped to watch it because it's like like
exactly.
Last week was good. I'm excited to see what they do this week. I don't know.
I mean, I'll binge a good show. Like my wife and I'll sit and we'll binge the shit out of a couple of shows. It's got to pull the attention and it's got to make me want to watch. Like I think the last one we did that for was that show Shrinking, and then we caught up to the weekly drop, and we were so disappointed because we were watching 2 and 3 episodes at a time at night. And then all of a sudden we're like, wait, we've caught up. Shit. Now we got to wait each week. And it was another 5 weeks of shows. So I mean, I like binging a lot, but I do like the fact that we could wait a week, and talk through like something like that. I mean, we got a lot of new people in the chat. Lucas.
But again, it's for the I don't even know where I'm going with that actually.
Hello. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hello, Lucas. Yeah, I lost my point.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to break concentration. My apologies. No, so we we're just talking about binging and stuff. So, like the Penguin, right? The Penguin series that would have been.
Yeah. I think binging it, but
yeah, but at the same time, I kind of enjoyed the entire discussion that we had online with other people after each episode. I love that talk in between the episodes because it gives you time to marinate, gives you time to break it down. You can watch some reactions on different things and stuff like that. I
forgot where I heard it. I heard it this week actually though. But somebody was talking about binging. It's like that's why people like shows are great, but people don't connect with the shows the same way that they do with like a Breaking Bad or a Game of Thrones because those are the kind of shows that like you have to wait week to week.
Mm-hmm.
You're spending that whole week thinking about the show. So it's like a little bit more ingrained. Whereas if you binge a whole season in, a weekend, you're thinking about it for that whole weekend. But then the weeks after that, there's probably a lot of details you're forgetting. Whereas if you were to watch it week to week, you can kind of like think about those details a little bit more, and it kind of leaves a lasting imprint on. But again, it's I think it. Oh, that was going to be my point. I think it's more of like the content, right? Like I think Penguin would have been, I would say, just as good if you binged it. But I think the kind of show it had some kind of like, what's gonna happen here, and I think you kind of need that for a week to week show, because then it gonna brings you back. But then if you don't really have that, but you can just watch the whole show and yeah, it's a good show. It's like, yeah, we can binge this one. This could be a bingeable show. I think
Yeah.
Netflix early on was very like, some shows they would release week to week, some shows they would release all at once. And like sometimes you would notice it's like, this is more of a week to week show. Like I like it, but there's like so much going on. I need kind of time to like breathe on it. Whereas, there's some shows that they do release week to week, and it's like, you could have put this all at once and it would have been cool. It would have been better for
Yeah.
viewing.
I think you have to kind of measure that. And it's like, I'm sure somebody, television executive or someone reviewing it was like, all right, this show is really fucking good. Like, let's slowly creep this one out. Or I might be a fan of like, release the whole first season if you have it, right? Of a show that you want to test out. Like, not again, an established show that is going to do really well. You do that week to week. Like Stranger Things. I would imagine the new Stranger Things is going to be week to week, I would hope. But it hasn't done it like that in the past. I think it's been all at once. But
No, they do they'll do half.
half
They'll do
the
like a
season.
half of it and then half of it.
Yeah,
Which
but
that kind of works too.
Yeah, it does.
It just, again, I think it just depends on the property. For something like Stranger Things, kind of works because, again, it gives you a lot of information that you can binge in that time, and then it gives you some time to breathe on what you saw. Because, again, Stranger Things is a complicated show of like what's actually going on. So I think it works well in that format. I think it would work well as well if you released it week to week, but there's just too many. It's like every week is like a cliffhanger. And
Yeah.
and it's not a cliffhanger because they intended it to be a cliffhanger. It's just they're going week to week, and it could hurt the story. It's like, well, that doesn't make sense to stop right there. Whereas you can just button up a whole section of the show, and then it's like, all right, give them a couple months to breathe. We give them the rest of it.
Yeah. I mean, I will tell you that. Well, it was also during the pandemic, I think, at the time when they were releasing the last season 4 and 5, I think, that it was such a great experience to sit down and watch that show from beginning to end. So I mean, I enjoyed the shit out of that. That was like a fun time with the family and shit. We'd go in and just kind of talk through it. I mean, Birdie's engaging with someone in the chat. I think he's this is the guy Lucas. I've never seen him here before, but welcome to the show, sir. There's a million good things to react. I feel so good watching you guys reacting to things because I feel like I'm watching something I like with smart guys. Hey man, thank you, man. We appreciate that.
I don't think I'm smart, but
So yeah,
I'm more of an entertainment guy.
You're heaping high praise with the smart guys, but we appreciate it for sure. I mean, because if you heard me, I butcher names and forget characters all the time, but we do like this stuff. So thank you, Lucas. Appreciate that, man. Welcome to the chat. I think Birdie was trying to engage with him. All right. So, the other things that are coming out, I think, again, I was looking at some updates here. Beyond the Spider-Verse thing has been delayed again. They don't know when they're recording their stuff. I mean, I was just looking at a couple of different channels and what they're covering. It just again, we're I think people are holding in anticipation for this slate of movies that have been out. Nosferatu did pretty good. The Wolfman heard had mixed reviews from what I read and heard. But I'm gonna go see it myself because we had talked about this one being a good movie. Let's see. Oh, Lucas is from Brazil.
Oh shit!
Welcome, sir.
Nice.
Brazil.
Brazil.
But anyway, so did you want to talk about the UFC fights from last night? Anything? I mean, I'm glad I did the watch along. I mean, the watch party with you. It was fun. I'm the casual for sure. Don't know anything about the fighters. I just go in for a good time. But
Yeah,
what you think about the card last night?
The card was cool. The card was cool. I mean, first one of the year, had a lot of hype. It kind of did end. Yeah, I think you said it, but kind of ended on a lower note. It was like as expected, but I thought it was nice to just chill with the boys again, watch some fights, talk shit. We streamed it. We got the Blackout Reacts channel going crazy.
Yep.
I gave Llama some views. You're welcome.
I gave you some views. You're welcome.
No, you did, dude. You didn't. You know what I thought about too? I was like, Llama didn't even let me tweet it out first.
Oh, but I was just trying to help.
I know, but I'm just saying. I was like, he didn't even give me a second to fucking tweet out my own thumbnail that I was so proud of. And so you can have those views. You're welcome.
I did, but all I did was copy the link. I didn't even see the thumbnail at that point.
That's crazy, dude.
All I did was send out the link, and I didn't realize that thumbnail was classic, bro. I like that shit.
It was a good thumbnail, dude.
It was. It had me do a double take. I was like, what are they watching? I gotta watch. I gotta see.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it was a good time, man. We're gonna be doing it more consistently this year. I think, out of all the content I make personally myself, I think the UFC fights always do the most views. I mean, bro, my Twitch went crazy. We had 10. I didn't even realize last night. It felt like a slow stream. It just felt like we were watching it and I wasn't really interacting with chat and shit. So I wasn't realizing. But we had 10 concurrent viewers just on Twitch itself. And then in terms of total views, 300, 350 or something like that, which for not doing it for months, I mean, it's pretty well. So
yeah,
we're definitely going to continue that. I want to make it a little better. And I kind of want to again, go into our conversations of doing this more seriously. I want to revamp it, not revamp it, but make it more professional, make it more, because we're not fighters. And a lot of content, it's the same thing I see with Call of Duty. There's a missing market in UFC and Call of Duty specifically that I look at, where it's all right, most of the content coming out is from people that are heavily into it. They either have fought, play pro COD or whatever, they're ingrained in it. There's not outsider perspective of and there's this guy named MMA Guru who's kind of one of the first, him and Nina Drama. They're kind of the first people where I see they're out of it. They don't train, they don't really, but they love the sport of MMA and they kind of get, good interviews. The MMA Guru kind of does what we do, where he does watch parties and he'll just talk about the fights. And I feel like there's a missing lane where it's all right, I don't consider myself a casual because I kind of grew up on this.
Yeah,
I watch it. I literally, when there's a fight card, I'm watching the interviews, every interview that comes out, the weigh-ins. I'm paying attention to what's going on. Even this weekend, the guy gets out of the fight, and I was watching it. I just happened to be up early for workouts, so I kind of caught it before the news broke on Twitter that the guy was out. And I texted Bird before, and then probably 10, 20 minutes later, then it broke that he was out of the fight, and I was like, that's how much I watch this shit. I'm somehow, not knowing anybody, I catch that something's going on before it even happens. So I kind of want to give a view from Blackout's perspective of bringing in people like you, casuals. I want to be the guy on the couch that doesn't fight but loves this shit obviously and can explain it to somebody who just, oh, you're watching this for the first time, let me tell you why this storyline is great, which is always kind of been what the watch party's been. So I want to refine that, make it better, and again be consistent with it. And then more content, the better. But I think it's definitely my more successful thing. And even last night, I don't want I was man, the first couple, our first initial watch parties, we let the Discord kind of go crazy, but I kind of want to build it to where even if I have to pay for the pay-per-view, so we don't have any lags or anything. Not that I don't, but
exactly. No, you can't prove that.
Yeah, I mean, prove what? I mean, they can if they check my bank statements. No, he did not buy it. But the Discord, you can open it up to 100 people. So I don't really want the Discord to be a part of it. Like if you're in the Discord, that's its own zone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
One piece of it.
But I think how we had it last night, where it's just our commentary, and again, like I tried my best last night to like describe what's going on in the fights for people who cannot watch it, or if they want to come in the Discord, you can come join and watch it with us. But again, give my take on it, tell you what I think is gonna happen, get Bird's point of view because he always has good insight on it. Gabe's kind of like a little in the between you and me, where he's like he knows some stuff, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's into it. So it's a good dynamic. So yeah, UFC watch parties, be on the lookout.
Exactly. Fun time. Although I do want to say, I don't know if it was you said something, but I definitely felt bad for poking fun at Gabe because I didn't realize he didn't feel well. I didn't know he was sick. I didn't know any of that shit until he did the Vicks rub on camera.
On camera.
On stream. But I felt bad because I was like, wake up, dude, right? Like, and you're like, bro, he's sick. I'm like, oh, I felt like an asshole. I felt like a total asshole.
Well, I was just bullying you yesterday, really.
I know. Well, that happens a lot when you and Birdie are there.
Don't say that, dude. You're spilling false narratives. Everybody thinks me and Bird are like two bullies. We get together and we just start bullying everybody. Everybody says that. It's kind of crazy.
Well, no, it's just like you guys zing me back. And no, the co-main stuff, I was like, that's a bit. You guys keep going with that. I loved it because I truly don't like it, and I talk about it. But
old man thinking, that's what that is. I hate that.
We should have a long.
You felt it. I literally. All right, come on. When I broke it down, like I said, you feel how it. No. Let's be honest.
Okay.
From the fight with Jamal Hill, Yuri Prohaska before the co-main, and then when the co-main came out, there was a different vibe. And then it elevated again when the main event came out. And like that's just natural feeling. Like you can't if you're in the moment you can feel it. And I know you did because we talked about it.
Yeah, no, it's a title fight. It's a title fight. And I'm all like title fights are very they're lucrative. They have, meaning, but I'm just on the literal meaning of what a main event is. That's all. That's my whole argument.
Events. They're both on the poster though.
AD, the only main event is the one that's your main event. There is only one headliner. There aren't co-headliners. One. Who plays at the end of the show?
This is different, bro.
UFC. I know. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying.
I don't think you do, dude. I think
I wish they would use a different term.
No, I don't think. What would you call it?
I would call it a title fight, but it's not the main event, and there's no co-main. Like it's like
a co-main. There's a main event and a co-main.
Look,
it's a co-main.
You are my co-host because we are hosting at the same fucking time. But if you were to come on and then it was me, you wouldn't be the co-main host. You'd be the the intro. You'd be a host, the warm up act, whatever. But you're not the main event. If I came on after you and I was the sole person, I am the main event.
I am the main event. Out of us two, let's be honest.
I'm just saying. I'm using that as an example, but like that's all. It's a literal use of the word main event. Main event means one guy is the main event. There could be title fights, there could be important matches below, but they're not the last match. That is the main event. Having a co-main, they're not coming on at the same time.
Yeah, that's but they don't call. But that's another thing you're missing. They don't call the main event co-main event. They call it the main event. The only co-main event is the co-main. It's the second fight before the first fight.
I'm telling you,
that's a co-main, and then it's not. They're both. It's not like, oh, this is the co-main, and then the next one we have the other co-main. That would be stupid. That's not what it is.
I'm just saying it's just I understand the significance of it. It's the match before the last one. Got it. So just come up with a different name for it.
It's a main event that is because again you can't put a lighter weight, even if the guy at the lighter weight sells more. Like if Conor McGregor, let's say Conor McGregor fights on that card last night, he's not main eventing over Islam. But you're not saying Conor McGregor's not a main event. You cannot say that. You get what I'm saying?
No, listen.
You can't say Conor McGregor would be not a main event.
Okay, so looking again, I use logic. The main event is the most important and anticipated event in a series of events. It is often highlighted of the occasion, attracting the most attention and excitement.
So
the
what's a
main
co-main event mean?
There's
It's
no
the
co-main.
second most important thing on the list.
Hold on.
Logically.
Define co-main. And he's going to say nonsense. Is the fight that takes place before the main event in a sporting event. It's dumb.
Exactly.
It's so fucking dumb.
You see what I'm saying?
It's so dumb.
Thank you, Google. Let's use logic here, Llama.
It's so dumb. I still, I'm gonna die on this sword, and it's not even a bit anymore. At first, it was a funny bit. Now it's my true feelings. It honestly is. I don't believe in co-mains. I've said it 100 times. It's a participation trophy because you want to be the main star. You're not.
Oh,
just saying.
Nobody's getting a participation. How you get a participation trophy?
You're not. Don't call it a co-main. Call it a title fight. Call it another match. But you're not the
title
main
fight
one
as well, dude.
But you're not the main card. That's all. You're not the main guy.
And sometimes co-main events are not title fights because the people are that big.
It's fine, and then so again, it's not the main event. I grew up in that time where a main event is a main event. That's all.
Tyson fight. If they would have called it a co-main, you would have said nothing right now. They just didn't call it a co-main.
Oh, if they call it co-main, I wouldn't care. I'm just saying. But
if you grew up and Tyson was the co-main, you wouldn't even bat an eye. You'd be like, I'm watching this for Tyson because there's another person heavy. Now, obviously, he's fighting heavyweight, so he was the heaviest weight. But if you had Tyson fight at heavyweight and then Floyd fight right under him, it's a co-main event, brother.
You have not given a good at least in my view to sway my opinion.
No good. You looked it up. It told you what it was.
Again, just because it defines it as that doesn't mean I can agree. I have to agree.
You tried to use logic on me, and you backfired.
It did backfire. But hey, I could have fucking faked that shit. But I'm reading exactly what it says because I'm about truth. Yeah. on this show. You fucking co-main. Right. I will die on this sword. Anyway. What was I gonna tell you? So, dude, I pumped out a lot of stuff on Patreon, man. I'm really excited. A lot of good shit out there. I have a fucking list of things. I got to work on it. The only thing I didn't get to work on is shorts. This would have been the optimal week, but I've got a couple of things already recorded and lined up and ready to go. I just have to do some edits to a couple things, but I'm just excited the direction of the channel. I think I'm getting a lot of good feedback from people, so really, really excited to drop the next couple of movies and stuff. And the direction we're taking this eventually. I'm excited, and I'm actually possibly starting another podcast.
Okay.
With a professional HR group. So it's like I'm busy, man. I'm busy as hell. So, but I like it though. The work I'm doing this is what I want to be doing. So I'm kind of excited. We're still kind of working on a couple of things for the other podcast, but. It won't be on my channels or anything. It'll be a separate thing, but I'm just excited to make more content. Look, Tang is here. Wall one.
Oh, shit. Stop it, Ron.
This guy. Tang, we missed you. We missed you, Tang. You weren't there last night.
We didn't fucking miss him.
I missed him.
Been there. He left.
Yeah. But again, my whole point before we got to the co-main discussion, I felt really bad that I had made fun of Gabe. He wasn't feeling well.
I don't think you made fun of him, dude. I think
I did. I said, wake up, dude. Like I was pissed. Like you're sleeping on the stream.
But he wasn't sleeping.
He was fucking sleeping.
He wasn't sleeping, dude.
He was totally fucking sleeping.
No, dude.
Yeah, no, he wasn't feeling that great. I get it. Like, and that's why
I don't think he was sleeping, dude.
Okay, then he looked like he was sleeping. What the Tang? You should have never wrote that. I was at a birthday party with silent disco. Those are things you keep. Those are inner monologues you keep to yourself, sir.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming to the chat.
Yeah. Let's see. Can you react to hip hop rap? I mean, the old ones, NWA, Biggie. Get some dope rappers here in Brazil too. Hey,
That'd be cool.
AD is the resident hip hop.
Me and Bird talk about that all the time because we talk
You guys
about.
should. You guys should break down old albums.
Yeah, there's a lot of. We get high and just talk about hip hop for no reason sometimes.
I mean, I could talk about old school hip hop up until 2000s, and then after the 2000s, I drop off. Huge. It's a huge drop off.
I don't think so, I feel like you know a lot of like.
No, I do, but
popular shit.
I'm not as in tune though as to like the art. Like, okay, so everything from early 80s to the 2000s, I know the backstory, I know the groups behind it, I know some of the underground stuff, so I was like really into it, and then I stopped being that into it. I still like the music, so I know a lot of the music, but I don't know the history and the stories behind them. So
you go to a Ludacris concert once a year.
Well, he was early 2000s, so I do. But no, that's a great recommendation. Like I said, maybe something that AD and Birdie can take on. But Lucas, man, thank you, man, for your first time, man. You're commenting a lot, man. We appreciate you. And then Tank says a lot better than I expected it to be. The silent disco or the UFC card.
The silent disco.
Yeah. No, I've done silent disco stuff, and that stuff's fun, but don't miss the stream for that. Like, come on. They needed you.
Hey, Hazard with the ADs. Appreciate you, brother.
Hazard, man. Hazard's in the chat. All right.
Yes, sir.
No, I like that. So again, the fight nights, the UFC fight nights, tune into Blackout AD's Twitch streams and Twitch channels so that you guys can go along and then go into the Discord. It's a fun time. Trust me, guys. You'll want to enjoy cutting up with us during that. And I'm glad I was there for the fight night. I'm going to try to make it to more fight nights because usually I'm pretty much watching them anyway. So if you guys are streaming, I'll jump on with you guys if you guys will have me. And I won't make fun of Gabe.
I don't think you made fun of Gabe.
I felt bad. I really did. I felt like I said something I shouldn't have. First, you know me. I'm in my feelings all the time. So
Oh my god.
I said something and then you said something like, bro, he's sick. And I'm like, fuck. Like I
Were
wanted
you
to
getting
call
annoyed at me yesterday?
What's that?
Were you getting annoyed at me yesterday?
No, not at all.
There was
No.
there was one time I forgot what I said. You were like, "All right, now stop."
I didn't say stop. No. Okay.
You said, "All right, now maybe." I don't know if you said stop, but you definitely was like, you acknowledged I made fun of you, and you're like, "All right, dude, like, what are we doing here?" It felt like, "All right, we're just gonna do this all night."
No. That again, I know when for me, if I really got annoyed, I'd be like, all right, guys, I gotta go. Right. But like I know when it's fun, and it was fun. It was all in good fun. So trust me. No, I didn't get annoyed. I thought you meant on the text because you had texted me a lot, but I was doing some stuff and I felt bad I wasn't responding right away. I thought that's what you
that's
meant.
just how my mind works, dude.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, I was not irritated. I admitting that I felt like an asshole at that moment, and I don't know what one of you guys said, but it was like I just felt really bad. And but yeah, I thought Gabe was sleeping on the stream, so it kind of pissed me off. That's why I felt like an asshole because I was genuinely pissed. I was like, "Fucking guys sleeping on the stream? Come on, man, we're trying to do something here." And then all of a sudden, you like he doesn't feel well, man. And then he got the Vicks rub, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like I literally wanted to walk away. I was like, "Damn it." Anyway, let's wrap up the show. We're having a good time, but again, we're only here for about an hour or so. So want to thank everybody who was on the chat tonight. We had Jay Birdie, Katie was here, Lucas first timer was here. Thank you for joining us tonight. Tang was here, welcome Tang, and then Hazard was here, dropping ADs in the chat. So really thankful for that. Again, look out for some more content this week from me. We've got some. Definitely a reaction coming. It's in copyright hell, but definitely a reaction coming. And then we've got more Vampire Diaries already premiering on Wednesday. And then we've got probably Transformers 1 right after that, and then Long Legs right after that. And I'll be recording 2 more movies tomorrow. So excited for all the new content. AD, anything before we leave?
No,
Any
man.
parting
You
shots?
took all the promo time.
I always do. Hey, no, again, thank you, Lucas. Thank you guys, everyone, for joining us.
Lucas.
We appreciate everyone. And again, join us for more next Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hit us up on our social medias and all that good stuff. We'll see you guys next week for the Big Llama Show featuring Blackout AD, the co-main. All right.
Yeah.
What
You're
is that?
welcome. I'm saying bye, dude. You fucking.
All right. Peace out,
You're
everybody.
delaying it, dude.
Later.